So then we will discuss two important concepts related to feeding these small babies. One is non-nutritive sucking and the other one is trophic feeds. So you're all familiar with trophic feeds, where we are not aiming to nutritionally progress, but we are aiming to stimulate the gut. So trophic is basically to maintain the nourishment. And when we say trophic feeds, we are starting with 10 to 20 ml per kilo per day. The frequency can vary. I mean, you're not aiming to increase it, then you can give it spread out, or you can start with 2 hourly. That's fine as well. So either 2 to 4 hourly pattern you can use for the trophic feeds. The idea is to start feeding even if you think the baby won't tolerate the feeds, to encourage the factors in the breast milk. Preferably, we give breast milk at the volume we mentioned, and we are not aiming to increase it till we feel the baby will tolerate. But the duration of keeping it as trophic feeds is reducing as we gain more confidence with feeding these babies. So even in the extreme premature babies, we don't wait a few days on trophic feeds before we increase. If we started with trophic feeds first couple of days, baby is stable in ventilation, not on vasoactive medications, we start trying to increase at the high risk regime, like 10 to 15 ml per kilo for the tiny babies. And the bigger babies, we start increasing at 15 to 20 initially and go up to 30 ml per kilo once they start tolerating. So even though we aim to start trophic feeds at the earliest, even if they are on some vasoactive medication, you can start trophic feeds. Once they are stable, we progress quickly with the feed. So the duration that you keep on trophic feeds is long. Only in certain babies who are recovering from NEC, for example, or where there is a short gut and you're not able to progress with the feeds. So you keep them on trophic feeds and TPN for a period till you feel they will tolerate. But the first 2-3 days that you start the feeds, we still call it trophic feeds. Non-nutritive sucking is one of the ways to stimulate both the baby's ability to suck, and when they start maturing, their ability to coordinate will improve. And when you keep non-nutritive sucking with kangaroo mother care on the breast, the milk output of the mother as well as the bonding is going to be better. So these two things you have to focus on teaching your staff and also doing it from the early days. So don't delay introduction of non-nutritive sucking. So skin to skin care, most of us are doing well. Non-nutritive sucking in the beginning, it should be on expressed breast. So the mother empties the breast and then they put the baby to the breast. Most of the babies tolerate it well, and just like skin to skin care, you can increase the duration that the mother does it. And as the baby starts maturing to more than 32 weeks, even if they are on a little bit of high flow or other support, you can start keeping some milk in the breast so the baby starts learning to suck feed as well. And then by 34 weeks, their suck swallow coordination is more mature. They're off respiratory support in most situations. Then you progress with suck feeding. I know the gestation ranges that you follow in India is different and you are more aggressive, but we aim to discharge the babies by 35 weeks. So by 34 weeks, if we start progressing well with the suck feeds, they are ready to complete the suck feeds by the time they go home. We have a target of 1.8 kilo and 35 weeks maturity to reach before we discharge. So trophic feeds, always reinforce, try to get EBM. One of the key steps is to get the expression within the first hour. So if the mother starts expressing within the first hour, the milk output is faster. Encourage the skin to skin care as early as possible as well. I know most of us are worried if the baby is intubated or has umbilical lines. Again, it depends on your unit support. I mean, if someone is there experienced who can intubate immediately, or you're planning to give a trial of extubation, you can do this. And umbilical venous line, it shouldn't be a contraindication. UAC, sometimes if it gets dislodged, there can be bleeding, so we are worried. So the first 3 days with IVH prevention bundle as well. And I know many Western units have started doing skin to skin care even in these settings with adequate support. But at least after the first 3 days in the baby without UAC and stuff, you start doing the skin to skin care. It has huge advantages. Many studies have shown big benefits of these. So any questions or comments on this? Any other questions you want to discuss today? I mean, otherwise we can close the meeting.
Good evening, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
this MCT oil, when can we add, sir? Like, what is the ideal time to be added for weight gain for the preemie?
So again, if you start looking at nourishment from the beginning, you don't need the MCT oil in a good number of babies. Only in the babies with poor weight gain for various factors, you need to consider. The short gut syndrome is one example. But for
Okay.
the babies where you couldn't start TPN, I think you may face that more in India because you don't have TPN or
Yes,
optimal
sir.
TPN is not started. MCT oil gives only the fat component. It meets the calorie needs, but remember that for the optimal growth, you need to look at the protein needs as well. So either uh, so one of the options to increase the protein is human milk fortifier added to the breast milk, either donor milk or the mother's own milk. And you also have the option to, if you don't have any of these options, one third of the feed can be given with preterm formula. We don't add preterm formula to the mother's own milk because osmolarity changes, but you can give one third of the feed volume as preterm formula, either two feeds of EBM and one feed of preterm formula to meet the protein needs so that the baby grows. There are babies who, even though you are giving 180 to 200 ml of EBM with fortifier, they still don't gain weight because the mother's own milk may
Yes,
be
sir.
low on protein. So in these cases, the only way to add more protein may be to give some premature formula because that is consistently at 2 grams of protein. So that is one tip for the babies. Once the baby goes into catabolism where their protein intake has not been adequate and they go into catabolism, then it's difficult to get back into the anabolism until you give them adequate protein for at least 4 to 5 days.
Yes.
Once you see a weight gain, you will notice that these same babies who are not gaining weight with EBM with HMF, even when you stop the preterm formula, they will continue to gain weight. So for a short-term measure till they start gaining, you can use that as an option. Protein powder alone is available in European countries, but I don't think it's available still in India. The human milk-based protein supplement is available as well, but I think it's expensive.
Okay, sir.
So
Sir,
the
and
MCT oil, I mean, you can add when the baby is on at least 100 ml per kilo feeds, and
okay,
the dose can be gradually increased if the baby tolerates. But it's not the optimal supplement because it only adds calories. Unless you add enough protein, that doesn't help enough.
sir, and one more doubt I had, sir. In this human donor milk that we get, sir, like, is it associated with higher risk of NEC in the preterm babies, sir?
No, I mean, the benefit in terms of reduced risk of NEC is not as clear cut. It is tolerated well, but the increased risk is not there.
Okay. Sir,
So
actually,
cost
we
benefit wise, I don't think it matters so much because it's very expensive. And the number of cases of reduced NEC in the studies have not been shown to be that significant.
okay, sir. Okay.
What did you see?
Sir, nothing, sir. Actually, in our setup, sir, where the mothers are not getting enough milk, instead of giving formula, we had this a voluntary organization who was providing human milk for the
The
babies.
Prolacta, I think. No,
Sir,
Prolacta,
Amara, I think some.
different one. Okay.
Yes, sir. So for them, so we noticed that actually those babies whom we started with early, the human milk, they ended up having NEC later for babies who were around 28, 29 weekers. So
Quality control is important. I don't know whether this product has been studied. The Prolacta is more widely studied. So we
okay,
shouldn't
sir.
go with products where the clear because this is dealing with the human products. And if
Okay,
just
sir.
like in probiotics, I mean, if you're not sure of the quality control, better not to use it.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Because
Thank you.
contamination risk and so on will be there as well.
Good
Okay, sir.
evening, doctor.
Yeah, good
Uh,
evening.
what is the importance of probiotics in preterms, doctor? Before we used to start, but nowadays we are not using.
In the FDA, they removed the approval because of some risks of preterm babies getting sepsis from these bacteria. But there are multiple studies, including Cochrane meta-analysis, which show benefit for reducing risk of NEC. Again, if you find a suitable product which is safe to use, you can give it from babies below 32 weeks. Start when they reach 100 ml per kilo and continue till they are 34 weeks. But you need to use a suitable product. I mean, in the Middle East, we have Lactobacillus reuteri, which many of us use. But you also have in Europe a combination, the same combination advocated by the ESPGAN, a combination of three bacteria in appropriate doses. But it should be made by a reliable company, stored and secured in the right way because you don't want a risk from that. If you can trust all these components, you can use it because it definitely reduces the dysbiosis and reduces the NEC by studies, but the safety is a concern.
Okay. Thank you, doctor.
Thank you.
Well, sir, actually in our unit we don't get breast milk EBM just after delivery. So in that case for extreme preterm baby, when we can start feed with preterm formula?
I mean, normally, if you have donor breast milk, you can start trophic feeds from day one, and
But
colostrum,
we
whatever
don't
is
have.
there, you don't have donor
Yeah.
breast milk. So
Yeah.
we encourage the mother to try and express at least for 24
Mhm.
hours to 48 hours. So in these, the tinier the baby, the longer you wait. So up to 48 hours in the extreme preterm. In the other preterm babies, to at least 24 hours before we consider preterm formula. And again, go slow with the feeds and wait for the EBM and make sure you're taking enough steps to get the EBM from the mother.
Okay. Yes.